What was learned yesterday during an 11-hour hearing on Benghazi? Ruth Castillo has the report.
And learn what excessive use of force has both faculty and students angry.
And what famous comedian will be taking another crack at hosting the Oscars this year? Stephanie Alvarez will be here with the details later on today.
And one of the largest hurricanes on record roads towards Mexico, find out later.
Hello and welcome to Newscene. I'm Gaby Fernandez.
And I'm Mirsha Mora. Thank you for joining us.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton testified before a House committee yesterday about the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, which killed 4 Americans, including U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens. Newscene Ruth Castillo has the report.
The ambassadors in the field are engaged in many different tasks. They are basically our chief. One of the horrors of the hours after the attack was our failure to be able to find where the ambassador was.
In terms of her testimony, I don't know that she testified that much differently today than she has.
They deserve the truth. They deserve the whole truth. They deserve nothing but the truth.
Secretary Clinton's presidential campaign.
To ask why you were.
What is impossible is for any reasonable person to continue denying that Republicans are squandering millions of taxpayer dollars on this abusive effort to derail Secretary Clinton's presidential campaign.
Your family, an entirely different story. Also, on the night of the attack, you had a call with the president of Libya. Here's what you said to him. Tell your family it's a terrorist attack, but not the American people. And you can tell the Egyptian prime minister it's a terrorist attack, but you can't tell your own people the truth.
There is no doubt in my mind that we did the best we could with the information that we had at the time.
Thanks for that report, Ruth. The Benghazi hearings on Capitol Hill continue next week. Hours following the hearings yesterday, Clinton saw a surge in contributions to her presidential campaign.
Vice President Joe Biden put a stop to the rumor that he will run for president. Biden announced earlier this week that he will not run for the 2016 presidential campaign. Biden also criticized Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton. Biden is suggesting the two parties learn to work together if they want to fix America. Some people speculate Biden dropped out because he's still mourning over the death of his son, Beau. He died in the summer of cancer.
The biggest hurricane in history is affecting Mexico right now. Fahima has more about this.
Thank you, Gabby. Patricia is causing 200-mile-per-hour winds and torrential rains, according to the U.S. Weather Agency. Patricia is expected to turn into a Category 5 hurricane. It has the potential to cause massive destruction over the Mexican Pacific coast, including the tourist cities of Acapulco and Puerto Vallarta. Meteorologists forecast Patricia will be more powerful than Katrina, which is slammed into New Orleans. In 2005, Mexico's Pacific coast is on high alert. That means that millions of people, including tourists, are under threat. Officials alerted those on the Pacific coast. People are boarding windows, heading to shelters, and stocking up on supplies. Mexico's Civil Protection Agency reports that there are over 1,780 shelters. All flights to and from Puerto Vallarta and Manzanillo are being suspended. Both Acapulco and Puerto Vallarta are both popular tourist destinations, so if you made plans for visiting the city, you should check your booking agency for refunds. Thank you.
In a letter written last night to GOP colleagues, Wisconsin Representative Paul Ryan announced that he's ready and eager to be the new House Speaker. Outgoing Speaker Joe Boehner announced nearly a month ago he was quitting at the end of October, and after weeks of speculation about who will replace Boehner in what some call the worst job in D.C., Ryan stepped up to the plate, but not until his demands were met. Chief among them was getting support from 3 mayor caucuses within the GOP, including the hardline Freedom Caucus. The so-called Freedom Caucus is comprised of the same 40 House Republicans who helped pressure Boehner to resign.
Canada's new election has sent in their airstrike campaign mission. The new Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has confirmed a plan of withdrawing Canadian fighter jets from northern Iraq and Syria by early March 2016. He made the statement after leading his Liberal Party to the power early this week. Trudeau informed President Barack Obama of his decision after speaking with him over the phone. He has committed to keep Canadian military trainers to the region to bolster Iraqi forces fighting against ISIS. The deal also aims to accept 25,000 Syrian refugees by the end of this year. A manhunt in New Mexico leads to an arrest of a man confessing to killing a 4-year-old girl in an act of road rage. Tony Torres opened fire at Alan Garcia's truck in Albuquerque, New Mexico, killing his daughter Lily. Torres is facing numerous charges, including murder and child abuse.
Yet another church has been set on fire. This time in St. Louis it happened. 6 of the fires have occurred in a 3-mile radius, targeting churches within predominantly Black congregations. The latest victim of these arsons was outside the radius and serviced major white membership. The church was built in 1843 and was considered historic. Authorities are investigating but haven't determined if the fires are connected. And how is the weekend looking? It will be sunny or cloudy? Find out after the break.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here to remind you to do your part to prevent all sparks that can cause a devastating wildfire. Secure any dragging vehicle chains. Dragging chains can spark, causing a wildfire along the freeway without you even knowing it. And did you know your lawnmower blade can strike a hidden rock in dry grass, which can cause a wildfire? And finally, don't park your vehicle over dry grass. A vehicle exhaust pipe is hot enough to spark a devastating wildfire. Don't be responsible for sending our firefighters into danger, especially the cute shirtless ones. He's my favorite. Remember, one less spark is one less wildfire. Visit our website for more information.
A 34-year-old Marine fighter pilot Tad Garning was killed Wednesday morning when his F-18 Hornet crashed shortly after takeoff. The aircraft was among a squadron of 6 San Diego-based jets heading back to Miramar from Bahrain. The F-18 went down in farmland about 6 miles northwest of British Air Base near London. The remaining 5 were safely diverted to another Royal Air Force base in Scotland. The cause of the crash is still unknown and the investigation is ongoing. This isn't the first U.S. military accident in the area. An F-15 crashed a year ago without seriously injuring the pilot, and in 2014, 4 Air Force crew members died during a training mission when their helicopter hit a flock of geese.
San Diego City College, along with the Emergency Management Resource Team, held an active shooter training evolution on campus on Thursday. Staff, students, and other members of the City College community were invited to learn helpful ways to navigate situations as severe as a shooter on the campus. The training received is called ALICE, Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, Evaluate. There was plenty of information given out, but the hands-on training was probably the most important. It emphasized tools to save lives are easily attainable. The recent events in Oregon and around the country proves this training is necessary.
I am concerned wherever I am now with the possibility of a shooter. I don't think it's limited to any particular area. I grew up in Brooklyn and grew up with shooters, so it's something that can happen anywhere at any time, and I think we all need to be prepared for it.
Held on campus in the coming month.
A New York City police officer was fatally shot while in pursuit of a suspected robber on Tuesday. Randolph Holder and his partner, both in plainclothes, exchanged gunfire with suspect on pedestrian overpass. Holder was shot during the exchange and died at the Harlem hospital. The suspect was arrested 4 blocks away with gunshot wounds to the leg. Tyrone Howard was charged with first-degree murder and first-degree robbery. Then the YPD divers each waters yesterday, searching for a .40 caliber handgun. A fisherman heard a splash at the time of shooting, and investigators believe it was the gun hitting the water, and are optimistic they will find it. This is the 4th officer fatally in New York City in 11 months.
A man was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital earlier this week. A Customs and Border Protection officer says the man, who was not permitted to enter the U.S., approached him with a knife when he fired the shots. The names of those involved have not been released. And Mexican authorities have detained a group of people suspected of organizing the escape of fugitive drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. He escaped from a maximum security prison in July. Mexican Attorney General Arely Gomez told reporters that among them is the cartel leader's brother-in-law. Investigators believe he organized and supervised the construction of the tunnel El Chapo used for his escape. Dozens of Sinaloa, Mexico residents are protesting what they say are abuses by the Mexican Navy, accusing them of conducting violent raids during their hunt for El Chapo. They say these actions are forcing them to leave their homes.
Testimony in the greatest heist in American history reveals interfighting among one of America's notorious white guys. 80-year-old alleged crime boss Vincent Nazzaro is on trial in federal court, facing charges in discerning of crimes dating back some 40 years, including the Faisal Lufthansa. The job is estimated to have been worth upwards for $6 million in cash and jewels. Nazzaro was recorded stating he never received the right money for the robbery in online conversation with an informant in 2011.
Oscar Pistorius has been released from prison in South Africa to begin house arrest. The former Olympic star shot and killed his girlfriend Reba Steenkamp in 2013. He said he mistook her for an intruder. His family spoke to the media, saying they are relieved they will be back home from prison as he begins the final portion of his sentence. And they emphasized that Oscar's sentence hasn't been reduced. Pistorius was released from a South African prison Monday and is staying at his uncle's mansion. Last year, a judge sentenced him to 5 years in prison for homicide.
Police chiefs and prosecutors are uniting to decrease the population in prisons. Their group is called the Law Enforcement Leaders to Reduce Crime and Incarceration. They claim many of their offenders involved with drug addiction or mental health problems pose a threat to the community. The resources could be used for more serious cases, which would help save money. The group hopes to cut mandatory prison terms and to open up more mental health and sobriety centers as alternative to prison time.
And reassignment surgery for some prison inmates in California is not a reality. The policy took effect this week and will provide sex reassignment surgery to inmates whose doctors and psychologists approve the procedure. The patients must be physically and mentally prepared. Under the new policy, the state will cover mastectomies as well as operations to remove and reconstruct reproductive organs. The surgery will not cover breast implants or drugs for hair removal or hair growth.
A camerawoman was fired for kicking migrants in Syria, plans to sue Facebook, and not only that, she also wants to sue one of the refugees she kicked. Her name is Petra Laszlo. She is from Russian newspaper and plans to sue Facebook. She says she also plans to file a suit against Obama Abdul, the Syrian refugee's Laszlo trip. She says he is to blame for failing on his own son because he's changed his testimony after initially blaming the police. Laszlo is facing criminal charges.
A 30-year-old is claiming responsibility for the hacking of a CIA director and personal AOL account. The hacker, who is known as Kraka, was working with a group called CWA, or Crackers with Attitude. Kraka doesn't want anyone to know he's alive and believes it's only a matter of time before he is caught. The case marks yet another instance of the government official being hacked. Well, and we'll find out how what happened with the soccer in Mexico history. We have Abdin with the story later.
And we have the latest on entertainment.
At this point, education is the most important thing in your lives. The successes of tomorrow are built upon the actions of today.
So anyway, I looked the principal right in the eye and said, all right, quit. So he says, I'm gonna fail. I said, I flunk, you flunk. And then I give him one of these.
Just one question, Mr. Lessworth. One question. Lessworth, just one question. One question, Mr. Lessworth. Just one question. Chaz, what are your plans for the future?
Education lets you live your dreams, so you don't have to dream your lives.
Tough it out. Stay in.
The NFL announced Monday it will host town hall meetings in San Diego, St. Louis, and Oklahoma to hear from the fans of the teams before deciding which teams will be relocated to Los Angeles. The league issued a statement stating they will provide an opportunity for fans and others to the community to ask questions and express their news directly to the NFL before any decisions are made about potential relocation of a club or clubs for a current market. The San Diego hearing will take place on October 28 at the Sparkless Theater. Those waiting to attend can pre-register online.
And we had the biggest soccer day in the history of North America this week. Abdin is here with us. Give us the story, Abdin.
Thanks, Gabby. Of course, Mexico and USA had a tough rivalry in the past, but their history is now sharing to inspire one pure storyline, and that is soccer. The winners of the previous two Gold Cup editions facing each other in Rosebud, Pasadena. And we got to highlight Mexico, of course, with better position. Paul Aguilar sparking on the right-hand side, playing centrally, beautiful linking passes with Oribe Peralta, and he set up Chicharito. Javier Hernandez Chicharito scored his first international career goal against the United States. Lovely off-the-ball movement from Oribe Peralta, beating both Matt Besler and Kyle Beckerman with change of pace of attack and setting Chicharito easily. He scored. Now Mexico taking it. But USA soon equalized. Lovely score and header by Jeff Cameron. Great assist by Marquette Bradley. Brilliant ensuing cross inside of the box, and Jeff Cameron rose high with a good sense of position, connected with the header. The game tied at the end of the regular time, and it goes to, of course, extra time with the resiliency and speed, the key for the team to win. What a game. Mexico switched the attack. Guardado sent the long ball overhead of the defense. Paul Aguilar turned it for Peralta. Peralta scored. It's 2-1, and it was comes up also. United States has a better chance to score later on. Taking 2-1 lead. Bobby Wood off the bench coming up and a strike. Lovely understanding and play with Yedlin as he gets into the box at 19 years old, equals giving USA extra motivation 6 minutes from the end. That goes, of course, last minute, the magical moments. Mexico was on the verge of the winning, and lovely ball bounces off outside of the box. Raul Jimenez turns it inside. Oribe Peralta. What a magical moment. He's becoming the hero for Mexican, winning the heart fans.
Thank you so much, Abdin. Thank you for being
Thank you, Abdin. This year marks the anniversary of two important events for people living with disabilities. Find out what they are after the break. Each October, National Disability Employment Awareness Month celebrates how disabled individuals strengthen the American workforce. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the NDEAM, and it's also the 25th anniversary of the Americans with Disability Act. The theme is "My disability is one part of who I am," and emphasizes that at work is what people can do what matters.
And the American Cancer Society is changing the recommended guidelines for the Asian women should get their first mammogram. The new guidelines recommend that most women who are average risk should have their first annual mammogram at age of 45 instead of 40. The age change comes after research from the American Cancer Society that shows that women who begin screening at an early age have a higher chance for negative results. Other major organizations are suggesting different age initiations. There's still no set age on which is the best one.
A long-time employment at City College passed away this week. Laura Gonzalez worked for over 44 years old at the Financial Aid Office in campus. She has dedicated her life to help students until she retired in January of this year. Her burial and memorial services were held this afternoon at Singing Hills Memorial Park and Cemetery, where family members and friends got together to say goodbye to this extraordinary woman.
And the Associated Students Government and various city college programs are holding their annual Halloween event.
The festival will begin this Thursday, October 29, from 10 a.m. Until 2 p.m. The Gordon Quad activities will include games, prizes, and costume contests. This year's theme is superheroes and villains. Now Stephanie is here ready with all the information and entertainment. Stephanie?
Thank you. It's finally here. The new Star Wars movie is set to be released December 18th. Tickets have already sold out. More than 1,000 shows nationwide in less than 12 hours. The question is, how big is the release going to be? Regal Entertainment Group says, when Star Wars finishes its run, it's going to be one of the biggest movies ever to come out in theaters. It is expected to make over $100 million, more than Titanic and Avatar combined. Super talented artist and filmmaker Chris Rock will return to host the Oscars 2016. The Oscar will come out on February 28th. He says he is great to be back and willing for the experience. And that is all we have for entertainment, and back to you guys at the front desk.
Thank you, Stephanie. And today we'll take a look to the weekend weather forecast. If we can see the map, this weekend is going to be a little bit hot, but temperatures are gonna get lower on this weekend. In San Diego, we're gonna be expecting the 80s, temperatures on the 80s, and Miramar and La Mesa will be on the middle 70s. We don't have chances of rain, but during Saturday and Sunday, you guys can go to the beach because we're gonna be experiencing temperatures on the high 80s. This is all we have for the weather cast.
And guess what? Hershey Kisses are getting bigger. The company says that they're gonna start selling these Kisses Deluxe in US on November. The candy is double the size of a regular Kiss with a hazelnut center and a crispy center. The Deluxe Kisses will be on sale through Valentine's Day. Hershey's is the first introduced the candy in China, where it was like an amazing success. What do you think about the Hershey Kisses?
Yeah, those are delicious, and definitely I'm going to taste them.
They look so good. I saw them. They have like a crispy center. They're amazing and they're huge.
And I'm sure they're going to be a good option for all the Christmas gifts. All the lovers of chocolate, they're going to love it.
Yes, my boyfriend better give me a big box of chocolate.
And what do you think about the weather this weekend?
It's going to be amazing, amazing. We have to go to the beach this weekend because I think it's going to be one of the last warm weekends we're going to have. So.
Yeah, because usually by this time we are expecting hot weather, but cold weather. But now we're experiencing warm temperatures, and we need to take advantage of it.
Yes, we will. And hopefully, we have like a couple more weeks of this. I don't think so. I think it's going to get colder. Like at night, you better bring like a light jacket because it's getting a little bit cold, but still nice.
And Halloween is around the corner. What are you going to do next week for Halloween?
I don't know. We'll see. Let's prepare something for next week so we can celebrate Halloween with everybody.
I like those holidays because my family celebrates Halloween and also Dia de Muertos, which is a Mexican tradition. And here in college, we're going to have special events for that. So all of you guys are invited to come to City College. They're going to have altares, el Dia de Muertos, and some other costume contests.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm very happy about that. And of course, we're going to be there taking pictures and filming.
There are going to be many events on the county. So you can find them on the official San Diego website. And you can find all the locations where children can go to pick up candies. And also they can wear their favorite costumes. Or here in college, we're going to have a contest about superheroes. So if you have any superhero, you can come dressed like that on next week here at City College.
Thank you, Mirsha. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Thank you.